3, 2, 1, 0. All engine running.
Whether you've been married 1 or 20 plus years, at some point, you realized you were married into crazy.
And that's what our podcast is all about. We offer love, laughter, and a dose of reality as we unpack this crazy thing called marriage.
So sit back, relax, and get your ear hustle on. It's time to start the conversation.
All right, let's go.
Welcome back to another episode of Married into Crazy with Snooks and Lovey. I'm Lovey.
I'm Snooks.
And as always, she's always being a buster, always just from jump.
Okay, can you say we finna do it for real? He just okay, let me just get this started. I thought you about to just push a button. I was like, what? I was all off. I'm looking over here. He always be trying to catch me slipping. It's good. It's all right. We got all day.
You don't got
all day.
You don't got to get ready if you stay ready. That's what I'm saying.
Okay, like I said, we got all day. I will be ready for the rest of the day. All day.
I'm just saying, hey, you guys probably hear some voices in the background. If you're on YouTube, you can check out that we do have an amazing couple with us. I used to always wonder about those couples that have like the combined names like Brangelina, but today we're bringing you Declare.
Whoop, whoop.
Yeah.
Declare stands for Devon Trueville, the creator of Black Wall Street, the board game, and Seclaire, the health nerd.
Hey.
And they actually reign from True Health Forever. For our day ones, y'all know that we were just on their podcast recently. This is a couple that I met. Actually, I met Devon through ET and the community that we belong to. And we were blessed to be able to be on their podcast, like we had just mentioned. But they're a phenomenal couple. And I just we really vibed with them. And so we wanted to make sure we brought them on to our podcast as well, because we got lots of questions. We want to know some things.
Let's do it. I love it. This is our first, I think, reciprocated guest appearance, right?
Yeah.
The first time that we've had someone come on our podcast and they're like, how about you come on ours? And it's like, oh, for sure. Let's do it.
Are you serious?
Thanks for having us.
Great.
Yeah.
And the first podcast we've done together. He's done a few, but we've never done one together. So this is a first for us.
Okay. We've been practicing. See, they
yeah,
showed
you
us
got
up
one,
on this.
so-
So
Yeah.
okay, ready?
Let's go.
Come with it.
Hey!
Let's go.
I like that.
We're
So
here.
for those of y'all that are in listener land, we just got our little dap on.
Yeah.
So
Let me just say what happened. So, okay, we, like Levy said earlier, we were guests on their show. They didn't tell us that, when they come hard and they be, excited. And I was like, okay, they hyphy over there. They doing their thing. And then they came with a handshake. I was like, oh, they just did that. So they not finna come on our show, do their little handshake. And y'all just saw them do the little wing thingy. I was like, yeah, we're going to have a handshake also. So thank you.
Look, for those of you that have been rocking with Team Snooks for a minute, know that she is competitive.
Love it.
So she likes to compete. So you know what? Thank you for blessing us, for being on our show today. One of the things that we always want to jump into, or a variety of things like the love origin, the story, and so forth. But I won't ask because Snooks gets mad if I ask the love questions.
Yeah, I like the story. I'm about the story. I want to know how it felt, what happened. Tell me the beginning. I like all the little intricate details. Lovey, not so much. So I get to ask those questions about how you guys met, what happened, who said they loved each other first. I'm
teasing.
I'm trying to do that
All
right now. See what I'm saying? Lovey's acting
Where
up.
the referee at? Hold on.
Lovey is showing out because we got company. Don't do that, okay? So tell me, how did you guys meet?
All right, Queen, you want to get into it? You look all right. I'll get into it. So it was a beautiful summer day in like September 15th, September 16th, around there, right? Freshman year at UC Davis. I saw this beautiful bright light from across the room. We were doing this little like icebreaker game where you have like, oh, find a partner. And I was like, boom, locked. I locked out. She was like, oh, who do I want? I was like, you want me. Trust me. All right. So we go up, we're talking, and off the top, there's already some good vibes, kind of joking around, kind of back and forth. I see that she's a dancer. She, I talk my dancer talk, but unfortunately, at the time, she had a little situation. She had a little boyfriend, right? And I'm
A little boyfriend.
She had a little boyfriend, and I was respectful but persistent.
Oh,
Right.
That's a good way to
So
put it.
yeah, respectful but persistent. Always throwing that game. And I remember Lovey last time was like, nerd got game, nerd got game. Line
Yes.
after line after line. And then eventually, two months down the road, we became boyfriend and girlfriend.
Ooh.
So I think it's always interesting to get the story from both points of view.
right.
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 So from my point of view, right? Yeah, had a little boyfriend from high school. From high school. So I was at the time, I was happy. I wasn't looking, for anything else. But yeah, so it was like an orientation program that we got to basically go on campus a week before everybody else. It was for Black students. We got to orient ourselves, learn about the resources, learn the faculty, all that stuff, tour the campus. So yeah, it was a bingo exercise, I remember. And they were like, okay, go find a partner for the icebreaker. I'm introverted. I'm a little shy. So I'm looking around like, okay, who's going to initiate the they're like, come be my partner. So I'm like looking around, blah, blah, blah. And then yes, I see the look and I was like, all right, cool. This will do. This will do. So I go sit down and yeah, the vibes were definitely there. He had me laughing from the jump, asking good questions. He's very good at asking the questions. So I was definitely like, okay, cool. We probably gonna be cool. We're probably gonna be cool. We're gonna be friends. We did become friends, part of the same friend group that really we're still a part of today.
Yeah, the squad.
Yeah, the squad. So we were a part of the same group. So we just got close like we did with everybody else. But there was that obvious chemistry there. So much so that eventually we both lived on the same dorm floor and literally just a couple doors down from each other. Eventually the floor mates began placing bets on what I was going to do, on whether I was going to stay with my current boyfriend or go with Devon.
And let's just say the people that are rocking with me, they got their money. All right.
Hey.
So there was team this and team Devon. And so yes, he was very, very persistent. And with the lines, the game, like it was not like the traditional, like it worked because it was so corny and nerdy. Like my favorite one, I'll tell my favorite two, they're quick, was I was wearing a dress, a black dress with some sunflowers on it. I still got the dress. I pulled it out and he was like, yeah, it's the one. Yep. So it was a dress with some sunflowers on it. We were in one of our friends' dorm rooms and I walked in and he goes, man, I wish I was a bee right now. Buzz, buzz, buzz. And I'm just like, did he really just say that? Like, I just started dying because I'm like, the audacity to say like just something so corny. But it was just the little things that just kept working. Our very first date we went on, he sits down, he's the chocolate, as I like to say. So he sits down and he's like, so you like chocolate? Anybody who knows me knows the answer. And I was like, no, not really. And his face just went blank. Like, oh, that's not the answer he was looking for. And he goes, I didn't have a plan B here. Almost everyone likes chocolate. So I don't really know what to say here. And I just started dying. Like, so it was just little things like that where it was like, this guy's funny. It's just like, we vibe. I enjoyed my time. And yeah, eventually after the persistence, I finally was just like, man, I like you. And there we are. I had to obviously respectfully end the previous situation. And we were a couple. We were a thing. All the Team Devon folks were happy.
That's awesome.
That's our story.
That is awesome. Poor little boyfriend though. Little boyfriend.
So y'all was like pre-entanglement before entanglement was a thing.
Wow.
Right.
Yes, we did it first, Will and Jada. We did it first.
Respectfully.
Respectfully.
Their entanglement was probably different though, so we just gonna leave it at that.
But you know,
they had a little bit of a different situation.
there's so many. Okay, look, there's bars in there because in that relationship that they talked about, if you weren't listening, I mean, it was entertaining, all that. But what Sinclair was really dropping nuggets on was the fact that they were friends, they had fun, they laughed. There was a whole lot of authenticity
Yeah.
in that. And I think that so many people have a tendency, to try and be something, to try and play a role, to try and be something, to become that knight in shining armor. But I mean, you were dropping one-liners, but it was just who you were. It was an extension of you. It was just you being you.
Please don't stop.
And she was appreciating that. I think that you can't teach that, and B, I think that stop watching TV and trying to see what you see in these movies. Just do you. Just be you.
But the other part of that too is just kind of like what he was saying. He saw her and he was like, that's the one. And he was persistent. He was being himself, but he knew that he knew, and she came into it with no expectation. She was like, all right, we'll be cool. It wasn't like he was trying to be, what is that called? Love triangle or anything like that. He was just a homie who just evolved into being the homie plus. You know what I'm saying? So I think I love that kind of stuff. That's just me. I love it. So how long have you been married?
Married for over 2 years.
Okay.
Yeah, we got 2 years and a month though. 2 years, and 2 months. There we go.
In a month though. Okay.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Respect those 2 months.
Y'all vets now.
That's right.
You know, put some time in.
That's funny.
You know what? It's good. And seek a friend first, right? Look for a friend. Don't be looking for the love interest. Look for a friend.
Yes.
I don't know. I wasn't looking for no friend when I met you.
Oh.
See, look, 25 years in the game, and the truth, little bits still keep coming out.
Wow.
Just a little bit at a time.
Just a little bit.
Right. She got the little drip. It's a completely different drip. No, so
right.
So now, but okay, so you guys came together on campus, right? Freshman year.
Yep.
Talk to us about some of the challenges so over the course of your college career, were there challenges within the relationship, and how did you navigate those? You don't have to get into the nitty-gritty unless you want to tell a story or two, but it's one of those things where, it's different. I mean, if you're on campus, there's all kinds of things coming at you: school, stress, family, finances, all these different things. How did you navigate that?
Trying to plan for a future.
Yeah. So Sinclair, level 0 to 10, what level do you want me to give in details?
You could give a nice. We're pretty open, so I mean.
Okay, cool. I gotta ask the boss before I get into it. I'm not trying to be in trouble after this podcast. Come on now, I'm not trying to get in trouble. So I think the first kind of personal / couple struggle that we had is one, I was broke in college. So I had to work like 3 different jobs while doing a whole bunch of stuff on campus. So I think there was a slight just time thing for us that I think we did pretty well, because she was also busy. She's an engineer. So I mean, she was locked into her studies, but I feel like those first 2 years could have been a little bit smoother if I wasn't working so many jobs just to really survive at life, right? So that was one kind of struggle. The biggest hurdle was we did take a break or break up junior year, right? 2014.
Was that junior? That was,
we came in 2011, 3 years. So junior year, we took a break because for me, this was my really first relationship. This was, the person that I lost my innocence to. So I was young inside of the game. And for me, I needed to know, is this the only love, or is this like friendship love that I can find somewhere else? I wasn't sure at that age, right? So and I was very upfront with her. I was like, hey, this is what I'm feeling. I feel like a strong connection with you. I feel like we're friends, but I don't know, is this normal, or is this like a once in a lifetime situation? I truthfully don't know. So we took about I took like a 2-month break, and then I came back and I was like, all right.
4 months.
It was 4 months? Oh, she got it calculated. I took a 4-month break and I was like, all right, I know, I'm ready. It's you. And she was like, nope, not right now. Now I'm out here living life. And I was like, dang.
No, that's right.
He got me. Oh, love in my heart. Oh, don't do it to me. Come back, Queen. I'm sorry. But then, you know, she took her break, but eventually we did come back together, solidified. And then we've been together ever since, got engaged, and then got married.
So again, the two sides to every story,
Right,
right?
right.
Here we go.
Tell the truth. Tell the truth.
Right. So
Stop. Don't hype her up. Oh man, yeah, let's see.
So for me, both of y'all at the same time. So for me, I was pretty, this was my second, like I would say, serious type relationship. And so I'm a very indecisive person, but for me, when I know.
Mm-hmm.
So I was already pretty sure that this was the man for me.
Mm-hmm.
So of course it just tore me to pieces when he started questioning or started, you know, saying like, I don't know. And so he did initiate the break at first. And that just, I had never been broken up with before. I had always been the breaker upper.
Right.
So,
I got you.
and of course it being the person that I thought was my one just broke me. So for a good like 4 months, I was like not in the picture, but still kind of like, he gonna change his mind. He gonna and I would say maybe not even that long. It was like maybe 2 months. No, it was maybe 2 to 3 months of me like, oh, he's gonna come to his senses. Because even when he did kind of initiate the breakup, he had it was like that question mark at the end of like, I'm probably gonna be back. Like this is just I just need to do this right now. But I'm like, well, if you know you're gonna be back, like let's not waste the time.
Right.
But you know, in hindsight, I realized that we both needed that break to be able to be where we are right now. But basically where I was is, okay, you need the break, go for it. But it just took me longer to accept that. So basically right around the time that he was coming around his senses, like, oh shoot, no, we did have something special, she's probably the one, was right around the time where I was like, well, if you're going to be out here, then why am I like, I don't want to sit around here like a little puppy waiting for you to come back. Like, let me go, you know, and did the typical, like, I'm going to take it out in the gym. So I lost like 10 pounds. I was feeling good about myself. Of course, starting to get attention that I wasn't even entertaining before then. So I was like, I don't know, it's my turn now. So yeah, he did come and was like, okay, I'm ready. And I was like, well, I'm not. And so honestly, we did that back and forth for about 6 months, until we then started talking again, where it was like, okay, we both had our time. We both realized that, you know, it's cool to be out here a little bit, but it's not what we had. Like neither one of us found that connection that we
These
had.
Streets ain't for me, Ernie.
No.
These streets ain't for me.
No.
Hey,
it's a cool experience, but we both realized like, okay, it did make us both realize and appreciate that we did have something special.
Right.
So yeah, we started talking again, and we didn't lay out any expectations of like, we're back together now. It was just like, let's just see where this goes. And we never really officially like said like, oh, we're back together. It really just from there took off, and yeah, we got engaged a couple years later. It was probably more like 4 or 5 years
after. No, we got engaged in 2000. We got engaged in 2017.
Yeah. 3 years later.
Years.
So 3 years later, and then got married 5 years later. But yeah, that was the break. And from my point of view, what happened. But yeah, like I said, hindsight, we both realized that we both needed that time apart. So it is what it is. It's part of our journey. But yeah, that was probably the biggest roller coaster we've seen in our relationship thus far.
Indeed. Way to tell a story.
Thanks.
And you laughed a little bit during that. It was impressive.
You know,
I
was salty for a long time after that, being able to tell that story.
That's what I'm saying. That was impressive.
I'm over it now.
We came out of that. I got no bruises. Good. You know, what's funny is it's talking about, you know, you said, you know, you're not made for these streets. You know, back in our generation, I guess y'all might have caught a little bit of it as well. But there used to be this phrase talking about game recognized game. And there's a lot of folks that don't know really what that means, but it's basically, hood recognize hood, gangster recognize gangster. If you got something going on, people know it. If you doing something, but I like to switch that up a little bit and be like, love recognize love.
Yeah.
And when y'all were able to come back together again, it was one of those things where it was like you said, it's like, okay, this ain't no puppy love. That what we got is real.
It's for real,
Yep.
for real. Mhm.
Right. And so love recognize love. And so many people out there like, well, how do we find what you find? I'm like, you will, but quit trying.
Yeah.
It comes back to that authenticity, about that friendship. Be you. And I think, again, one of the underlying tones is that the vibe I'm getting is that you guys were still trying to discover what your true authentic selves were. You knew who you were, but you wanted to make sure that you weren't, there was no fakeness. There was no fillers.
Right.
None of these preservatives or nothing like that,
Yeah.
that were in the relationship. And I think that is so crucial, especially for y'all being so young.
I was about to say, that's the hard part. I feel like when you discover each other at such a young age, freshman year of college, and then you're in college and all the distractions that you have, trying to stay true to each other, but also trying to find out who you are, who you're going to be, what you want out of life, and then still take into consideration this person who you're connected to. So that I love when I love love anyway, but especially when someone can recognize love in the midst of all the other storms that go on, and they still stay really focused on that person, even though Devonna, I appreciate you because you're like, hey, I'm not sure, because a lot of guys, they just cheat, and they just, have all these women on the side and still want to keep the main one so that they don't lose. But you're like, well, I'm going to be true to her as well as be true to myself, and say, hey, if it's meant for us to be together, whatever the verbiage was that you use, and I love Sinclair because she was like, he gonna come back. But then when you did come back, she was like, you know what? I need my time now. Not being vindictive, maybe a little bit, but I'm
She was like, yeah, I do like chocolate, but 98% cacao.
Yeah.
Maybe, what's
I
up with
just
this
want milk
70%?
chocolate.
What's with this 70%?
That's funny.
But just being able to come back and still staying true. I applaud you for that, because you could have just had all kind of women on the side and test the waters that kind of way. But you're like, I respect her as a woman, So
yeah, that was one thing too that and hopefully I've conveyed to you enough. But one thing that even afterwards that I said that I was very thankful for, even though obviously I didn't like that we had to go through that break, I was very thankful that he took that route, because I know that there are a lot of other people out there that would have just gone ahead and stepped out. And I feel like what I mentioned earlier, we needed that break. Even more so, I think like one of the additional things why we needed that is because I now trust him 100%,
right,
because that basis of like, he would rather break my heart than betray my trust.
Right.
And I will take that over the having to get over him cheating on me for any day. Right.
Right.
So yeah, I that really solidified like my trust in him, and it's never wavered since. And so I feel like that was definitely another silver lining to that situation, is where I know that I can trust this man with my life, because he even in the hardest moment of our relationship chose to do the right thing.
Right.
That part doesn't come up too often, not gonna lie. It's beautiful to hear in this conversation, but usually, I'm getting beat over here, love you. But yeah, I definitely, appreciate that acknowledgement. In my opinion, I've seen in movies and in real life, it's nearly impossible to come back from cheating, right? So in my heart and in my mind, if I even think, okay, this could be the one, I feel like, yeah, in my head, the breakup, it's possible to come back from a breakup, to come back from a cheat. Like, even if you get back together, there's always that question, right? And you can't live life like that. So it was a tough decision. I think we both cried. I was like, it was a good relationship. I both balled out, but happy it worked out.
So I was laughing earlier because part of what I wasn't sure if I was going to share or not is the night you actually broke up with me. We were sitting in the car.
Yep.
We're sitting in the car outside of his place, and then he broke up, and then like we both didn't even know what to do.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think you initiated it. He was like, "Well, like, are you hungry?" And I was like, yeah. So we went upstairs, and I swear to you, it was probably one of the most embarrassing moments, because we're sitting in the room and I'm like crying while eating a hot dog because I'm just like, I don't even know what to do now, but I'm hungry. So we go like, I don't know how to not be with him.
Right.
But it was like, well, we just gonna eat away our feelings then. And then afterwards I left, and like it just that was the breakup. But it was like, I don't even know how to deal with this without you.
Right. It was very interesting.
That's dope.
Funny.
That's soul kinship right there.
Yeah.
I love that. So, you know, what's funny is, I like you guys.
Well, thank you. We like
you
y'all
too.
Yeah.
And no, it's you remind me of us so much. Early on and now.
I'm like,
Not
maybe
our
so.
early days. No, because she was straight hood. But I do
Hold on.
identify
I'm
with
gonna turn your mic off.
no. I do identify with being broke though.
Mm.
Yeah, I was working 3 jobs and still making a third of what she was.
Mm.
Yeah, I was her little project.
Wow.
Yeah, she was like, we're gonna build this one up.
Yep.
Piece
Well,
by piece.
Yeah, as far as his clothing attire, yeah.
Oh, okay, we didn't even go there. She still talks about me. Look, I got a
Lovey
question. I got a
Lovey was
question.
wearing dad jeans before dad jeans were like a thing. So I was just like,
He's
can
a
you get
trendsetter.
some different? I don't like that.
You know what? I'm function over fashion. I was like, if it ain't comfortable, look, if I could have worn my hammer pants, I would have.
Oh no. Oh no.
No, not feeling the hammer pants.
No.
Look,
I don't want to see
okay,
those
so let me ask you this. Though you've been married for 2 years and 2 months
2 years and 2 months.
and counting,
Appreciate it.
what are some rituals or non-negotiable things that you do in your marriage that that didn't exist in singleship or singlehood and dating that you may have adopted within the last 2 years and 2 months?
So I got 2 off the top. Feel
Go
free
ahead.
to hop in at any point. But one, we pray together before every meal.
Yeah.
Even if we're in public, even if like we're in a group and no one else is praying, like we'll still get together and we have a thing to where we might not say any words, but we'll both be there in that moment. When she's done, she'll squeeze my hand. When I'm done, I'll squeeze her hand, and then we'll eat together. Another ritual is I don't eat and she doesn't eat without the other person, unless we're obviously in different cities. But like if we're at her parents' house or if we're here, if we're anywhere, my food comes, it can be 20 minutes, it can be an hour, it can be 2 hours. I'm not touching this food until my queen has her food too, and then we can eat together. And I feel like we've kind of done that since college, low key, but I feel like it's been official since marriage.
To the point where like we'll be with my parents who don't do that because we just grew up like once you get your food, you eat. So like we'll be with my parents. My parents be like, "Eat your food, it's gonna get cold." And I'm like, "Oh no, I'm gonna wait for Devon." He's like, "Oh." They're like, "Oh my god, y'all again with this." It's just like it's our thing. Like, yeah, we just wait.
And then the last one is whenever someone comes home, first thing you should do is go ahead and give a nice hug, a nice embrace, breathe. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that. But yeah, just hug, breathe, give a kiss, and then go about whatever else you gotta do afterwards. So I think those 3 solid. I don't know if you have any other ones.
You took both of mine.
Okay.
Which is the prayer and the eating together. I think we're both foodies. We both enjoy food and just enjoy the sacredness that is eating. So we like to do it together.
Yeah.
That is dope. I like that. No, I think that's good. I will say this because it's an opportunity for us to actually throw this in there. Is that when you talked about not being able to come back from cheating, it is extremely difficult. And I'd be remiss if I didn't at least throw out there to our audience as a reminder that that's what we try and help couples overcome. Not necessarily infidelity. It's about all the storms within the storm. So when you go to marriedandcrazy.com, you have the ability to go on there and look at our coaching tab. And there's a way that we really institute our crazy methodology, being more compassionate, real, accountable, zealous, and yielding within your relationship, regardless of what the challenge of the season may be. And so we invite everybody to remember to go out there and click on the tab and get a discovery call. We're not saying hire us as your coaches, but we are saying that, have a conversation with us. We cool. We don't bite.
Y'all better save your marriage. Click on that link. Come on now.
Okay. So when you brought it back to infidelity, I was like, what's he doing? Is he about to do some breaking news I didn't know about?
Oh, right. Oh, snap.
Okay. Not like so, this, bro. Don't do it like this.
Right.
Wait, hold on.
Like, pause.
Like, excuse me, you got something you want to say? Okay.
So, but it's funny. So now, what were your degrees or your majors when you guys graduated from college?
Hers is more impressive, so I'll let her go first.
Chemical engineering.
Dang. Street chemist? No, just playing.
Oh man, I did sociology.
Okay.
I'm like, that's impressive. I did sociology too. So
both impressive.
Yeah.
Usually she's the one that gets the eyebrow, like, oh, chemical engineering. They're like, okay, sociology is cool. Oh yeah, that's cool, bro.
Trying to help the environment. Okay.
So I'm curious. So I know a little bit about both of you, and I'm curious as to whether or not the chemical engineering is what got you really focused on nutrition.
Not at all. So I think what chemical engineering did do though is just solidify my analyticalness and like the problem solving approach that I like to take. So I don't use chemical engineering any time in my life, honestly, after graduation. And I didn't plan to. At some point I was like, this ain't really for me, but I'm too far into it. Mm-hmm. But the nutrition side of it, I think I did take a nutrition class and a food chemistry class. And those two, I think I was a little bit more engaged and a little bit more interested, more so than, and it was just a different level of interest than in my chemical engineering classes. But the chemical engineering classes, it was more like, I'm interested to solve this problem. This seems like a really hard problem and I just want to solve it. That's where the interest was, but it wasn't necessarily like, wow, this is great and I want to do this for the rest of my life. Whereas like applying that same problem solving to like nutrition or food chemistry was like, oh, well, I love food and like this is applicable. Like I could take this and run with it. I could take this and do something with it. So I think that between and intermingled with our personal just health journeys that we were taking at the same time started making me interested in nutrition. And I didn't really dive into like studying or even listening to podcasts like that until maybe like the past 2 to 3 years. Before that, it was more just noticing, like we would do some experimentation with our diets of like, the first thing I think we did together was like for a week, we did pescatarian. And we thought that was just going to be the hardest thing in the world. So we tried it and we were like, okay, like this is cool. We can do this. And then we kind of dove in full time. And really that's like my own journey is what started getting me really into nutrition and how what you eat can affect your body so much because I was living it. So yeah, the chemical engineering really, it just solidified again, me knowing and me embracing like, oh, I have an analytical mind. I like to really dive deep into, the problems and get nitty gritty with it. Yeah.
No. So,
you see that? She said no.
I forgot we was on there. I'm sorry, babe. I'm sorry. I apologize. Anyway, but no. So as you guys you're hearing Sinclair talk about nutrition and everything, True Health Forever. This is throwing up signs. Yeah. So you guys are the founders of True Health Forever. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay. So obviously for those that are not watching, we hear health in there, we hear nutrition. So tell us a little bit more about that whole journey and where it started, where you're at right now. And
oh, it's me. Okay, I can hop into it. So it started as I think you kind of alluded to it, like a personal journey, right? So 2015 was really when like our health journeys kind of started. We graduated in 2016. We were like, okay, we're committed to our own health. We see in our own families diabetes,
Mhm.
high blood pressure, cancer, people dying way too early, in my opinion, and in her opinion as well. And as we're confirmed and committed to each other, and we know we're going to have a future, we're never going to have kids, grandkids, we're just like, how can we commit to ourselves? How can we commit to our kids and be here for as long as possible?
Mhm.
So we were like, let's commit to this lifestyle, and then let's try to teach other people and other family members this lifestyle as well. So it started in 2016 as really like a blog, right? We had the TrueHealth Forever blog. We had our YouTube channel. I did some terrible
Talking to TJ.
terrible YouTube videos called Talking in TJ, which are still online today. They have like 8 views. You know, they're nothing impressive, but it was getting into the zone of every week, every day. Let's create something. Let's talk. Let's put this positive energy out there. In 2017 was when we created Black Wall Street, the board game, as a attempt to do economic health, right? So in TrueHealth Forever, we have 4 pillars: social health, physical health, spiritual health, and economic health. And in our opinions, if you're solid, if you're good in those 4 areas, you should be pretty good, you know, at life holistically. So the first project that we put out there was Black Wall Street, the board game, in an attempt to increase people's economic health, teach them about financial literacy, expose them to the brilliance of Tulsa's Black Wall Street. But unfortunately, this is one of our first kind of business hurdles or trip ups. I think when most people hear TrueHealth Forever, they don't think about gaming, right? Like we know our full vision. We know what we want to do in all the different avenues and markets. And in our opinion, it goes well underneath the brand of TrueHealth Forever. But an outsider looking in, you see TrueHealth Forever on your credit card statement. You're like, what?
I'm getting scammed.
Yeah, am I getting scammed? What health supplements did I buy? I didn't sign up for any gym. I bought a board game, a Black Wall Street board game. What's going on here? So we got a few little branding mishaps there. So we eventually kind of separated the brands, and now we have Play Black Wall Street and TrueHealth Forever. And then of course, now that the queen is, you know, diving into her health coaching, loving to see it, almost certified as an FDN health coach, and being able to really take TrueHealth Forever to the next level. And then we have our podcast.
Oh, so when did we start the podcast?
Podcast was in 2019, right? So we moved to this lovely place. Well, first, I got her to marry me, you know what I'm saying? Solidified that. And then we got the castle, and then we started the TrueHealth Forever podcast, and been going every week for 2 years now.
Yep.
That's dope.
That's awesome. I love it.
You know, and let me just, as a side note, listen, I was gonna do this at the end, but y'all need to actually make sure you hit up Sinclair.
Hey.
Listen, the health nerd is the real deal. I had the pleasure of having a session with her earlier this week, and when she, you know, we talked, and it was good. She made me think about a few things, and I consider myself quite pretty well versed when it comes to a variety of different areas when it comes to health. But she gave me new food for thought, things to think about. And then she says, well, I'm going to follow up with an email, you know, so you'll get something in the next couple of days, what have you. This was the most extensive email that I have ever received from any coach that I've ever employed. And I do believe in coaching in a variety of areas. But I was shocked. At first, I'll admit, I haven't read it all yet, but I was like, oh, okay. I'm looking at this, and I was like, oh, dang. Okay, so if I can give you any business, hold back a little bit. Make us
He
come
told
back
me
for
the
more.
same thing.
But I'm loving this because it shows your commitment. What I saw there in the email was a passion and a commitment to my well-being. It wasn't, you know, hey, come back to me so I can actually give you the secrets to the keys to the kingdom. It was like, I love health and I want to be a part of your journey. And I was like, this is dope. So I immediately went online. I told a few people, I'm trying to usher folks. I started jumping all over Snooks. Like, look, hey, you better handle your business because she ain't playing.
Oh my God. He was like, did you set your appointment? And I was like, no, babe, because if it's not right in front of me, I'm like all over the place.
Yeah.
So I said, oh shoot, I lost the message or the email. I misplaced the text message, whatever. Cause I was like, I have a link. He's like, did you do it? Did you do it? Did you do it? And I was like, if you don't stop right now, I swear I'm gonna move you out there with them. Okay. He was like, no, I'm just saying. But no, I was like, I had every intention to. So I told him, I think I told you, I was like, I made my appointment. He didn't even know what I was talking about. He goes, what appointment? I was like, the one that you was sweating me about. Oh, okay. Good. When is it? I'm like, dude, don't worry about when it is. That's between me and her. Okay. That's between her and I. It's going to be women's stuff that we talking about for our health. You ain't got nothing to do with it. So Lovey, back.
Right. Back. Not just back.
That was so funny though, because he told me the same thing. I showed him the email, like, this is what I'm gonna say. What do you think? And he was like, it's a lot. He was like, maybe do you need all of that? And I was just like, but I really just want to make them see that, like, I'm not trying to get their money. Like, I really just want them to be healthy. But no, I received your feedback. Received.
Okay, but
thank you.
Wait to do that until after I get my email.
Let me get all
right.
Because I want all of it. I promise you, I want all of it, and I will read it all too. So
in the show notes, y'all know that I'm not big on show notes. I'm a essentialist when it comes to that. So I try and put the least amount in there. I'm like, let me just get the podcast out. But there will be a link to their webpage in the show notes when you see this. Because I think it's definitely worth going on there. And just like we talked about going and doing a discovery call that's free, do the same thing, because that's exactly what Sinclair and I did. We sat down, had a conversation that set the foundation, and it was beautiful. It was exactly what is that? Oh, grab the phone.
okay.
Yeah, y'all both like.
I don't know if y'all could hear that or not, but yeah, the phone just started giving us the busy signal. Like, saying, stop talking about health. No.
Never.
I feel a hamburger coming on. No, so that's amazing. So how did you actually decide? I mean, why was Black Wall Street? Why is the socioeconomic side of health so important to you that you made that the first pillar that you ventured out on when it came to True Health Forever?
Right. So I think it's kind of happened by the grace of the universe. I was working at a university at the time, and I worked this Village Nation uni camp. And at the camp, I'm realizing that the students had no idea what Black Wall Street was. And this is like middle school students, high school students, both Black and brown. None of them knew the history. And number two, we had a little bit of a financial literacy discussion at the camp. The students weren't aware of, student loans, credit cards, the stock market. There's just a clear gap. And I've seen that in a lot of different conversations. And then from me and the Queen's conversations, we know that finances in a marriage is a huge piece of stress, right? And I think we even have that stress in our lives today, even though we are financially literate. So being able to give more people opportunities to create jobs, to create businesses, to understand finances can then trickle into, now I have enough money to hire a health coach. Now I have enough money to hire a marriage coach. Now I have enough money to buy organic food instead of going to McDonald's. So unfortunately, we live in the United States. It's a capitalist society, and you need to understand money and have ways to earn money in order to be able to reinvest in yourself for these other pillars of health. So I think it kind of happened by happenstance that we started as economic health, but at the same time, if you do start with economic health, you can then kind of trickle to the other health as well.
I think it's also a testament to our two personalities, because he's definitely more like, if you have the two pillars, the four pillars, the economic health is definitely like his realm. He's very into the spiritual health too, very good on like vibes and mindset. And the physical health has always been my camp, my joint. So, but even between our two personalities, he's definitely more the like, we just gonna do it and figure it out later. And I'm like in the DISC assessment, I'm a high C. So I'm like it's gotta be perfect before I even put it out to the world. So I think that that's a part of the reason why that was the first pillar that we did, because that was the first pillar that he was passionate about. And I was just there as a support, like, okay, yeah, let's do this. Let's have this be our first thing. And that's why we're 5 years in and I'm just now starting health coaching, because I just like, I need to learn more. I need to do this. I need to know this. I need to have this certification. I need to have blah, 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 all this stuff. Until he finally was just like, just do it. You have all of this knowledge in your brain and you need to apply it somehow. So that's why we started these sessions.
So funny, because I mean, you guys are like, I hear y'all talk and I'm like, that's us.
Yeah.
So
Same.
us, the same things that he says to you, Lovey would say to me. He's like, you already know, but I'm just like, I want to do it, but I'm like, oh, but it's not
Yeah.
perfect because I'm so busy scrutinizing my own self,
Yep.
He's like, if you just don't get this done, I'm just gonna take it from you and do it myself, kind of like that.
And make it
So-
all bad.
Yep.
It's
So I
funny.
want to ask some more fun questions, just things that are just off the cuff. So I've got
Ooh.
several
Oh yeah,
here.
Sinclair's favorite.
Oh Lord, I'm already
No,
sweating.
okay, so if there was a movie title for your marriage,
Oh,
what would it be?
this
Each
is
of you.
This is all you.
If there was a movie title for our marriage, that's
It doesn't have
not
to
a
be an
real
existing.
movie. We get to make something up.
You can make something up if you want to.
Man, if there was a movie. Oh no, Dancing with the Stars.
Okay.
Yeah,
Thank you.
I'm gonna go with Dancing with the Stars. One, because it's in a song that I wrote.
Mm.
So one, boom. And then it's also, we have a constellation that is literally what the sky looked like on the day of our marriage from where we got married. And I got that for on our first anniversary. And the name of it is called Dancing with the Stars. So I would, yeah.
Aw, that's so sweet.
That is awesome. And oh man, should I pause? Let me pause because it looks like we just lost connection. So let me just stop right here.
Yeah, so I would go with Dancing with the Stars because again, we have I think I got it for our first year anniversary, a nice little picture of what the sky looked like, what the stars looked like on the night of our wedding, 7/7/2019 in Newport Beach. It was a beautiful wedding. And the name of that picture, I guess if you want to call it, is called Dancing with the Stars.
If I had to choose one, I would say Declare to Love, because that's kind of our little theme. That was like the hashtag at our wedding, but I think that could mean so many things. It could mean declare to love each other, declare to love yourself, declare to love the world around you. So yeah, I think that would be mine.
Yes.
Aw, I like that.
I love that. And remember, Declare is also Devon and Sinclair. So they got the little
Yes.
Brangelina thing going on.
You know?
And that hashtag.
We have one too. What are we?
I don't
Oh,
even know.
yeah, our kids call us Erna.
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 Yeah,
That's
that sounds-
somebody's real name.
That sounds like some
Hold on.
old school
Right.
grandma, right?
Exactly.
Right, that's
Grandma
somebody's real
Erna.
name.
That's
Ernest and
That's
Rhonda.
Medea,
It's
yeah.
Erna.
what's Medea's real name? Erna.
It's real
Wouldn't be
people.
surprised at all.
Right.
Wow.
Right.
But I love that the whole constellation thing. You're gonna have to get with Lovey so that he can figure out how to get that for me because I want that.
I already knew. As soon as you said that, I was
so
like,
I'm just
dang.
saying, our
My
25th
bad.
is coming up in. No, it's not your bad. But thank you for.
You know what?
for
No,
saying that.
let me just say this.
Our 25th anniversary
No,
is coming up
let
in
me-
January.
Look, y'all starting
I think
arguments.
that's not having an argument.
I'm just
You
saying.
can't tell me what
First
I want.
off, how dare you two put me in a position where I gotta learn a new handshake.
That's right.
Now I gotta go on.
Now you got to
and
find a constellation.
find a constellation.
Constellations and stuff. Yeah.
He's like the gift master, and he's a romantic. So yeah, that's all him. I couldn't tell you where to get something like that. Only he would think of something like that.
Okay, I'm gonna need a love coach.
So
Listen,
A
Lovey is
romance coach.
actually
Hitch, hire me. Hitch.
Yep.
Lovey's actually very romantic too. I don't know why. Don't try to get out here and show out and try to act all hood. You're not.
Mm.
So you can be romantic.
Oh, look, butterscotch hard.
God.
If I was in the hood, if I was back in the day, that's what they would call me. Like, y'all seen butterscotch?
No,
Oh,
they
Y'all
no,
could have
you don't
run.
want
Butterscotch
that.
coming.
they be calling you
That's not the hood name for you. Don't do that.
Oh,
do
not
that.
butterscotch.
pecan tan. That's what. they
Okay,
call
so
me.
let me throw another question. If you could have one gigantic billboard regarding relationships that the whole world had to see, it was just one billboard that would the entire world would see, what would it say?
About relationships.
It's about relationships. A message
Mhm.
that resonates with your marriage that would be on a billboard that the whole world could see and learn from.
like something about like,
I'm excited. Yeah.
I feel like, so the two things that are coming to my mind are like something about like kind of what you mentioned, like find a friend, find a partner. So I feel like something that could encompass like finding a friend, but also find someone that you can just laugh with. Because I think that laughter makes every day fun. And I think that that's part of what will make our marriage and what makes a marriage, you know, sustainable, is that you just enjoy every day and you enjoy living life with that person, whether you are out traveling the world or whether you're just kicking it, watching Harry Potter in the crib,
Yes,
you know,
Right.
that's what we're doing right now.
Yeah.
Either way, like we can just be with each other, sitting, doing nothing but talking, but we're both having a great time. So just find that person that I feel like, okay, so this is what I'm picturing, okay? If we're talking about the billboard.
Plan it out. Go ahead.
I see like duality. I see like a couple literally sitting on the couch doing nothing, but they look just as happy as where maybe on the other side, they're like out traveling the world doing the thing, but they also look happy, but their faces look just like they're the same. There's the same amount of happiness beaming from both sides. And you could just tell like whatever they do, they're happy. They're happy with each other. They're happy living life.
I like that.
And I don't know what the words would say. That's his realm, but that's what I see.
She's all, thank you.
Okay, that needs to be created.
We did it, Queen. We did it.
That needs to be created.
I like that.
Right. Go ahead. We'll
maybe I need to step into marketing a little bit.
please. What's up? We good.
It sounds like there's an opening in that department, you know. So
Oh, we need the help, that's for sure.
That's funny. So I want to ask a question. Can I ask a question?
as we come to a close, absolutely.
Babe, no, there's 2 questions. You guys good with 2?
We got time.
Okay, thank you. So when I say the phrase Black excellence in marriage, what comes to mind and why?
Black excellence in marriage. I feel like, so it's unfortunate that we have to think that long. I feel like what's on my mind right now is the image of Jay-Z and what's her name? B.
Don't say
I
Bae.
said it right? It's not Bae?
It's B.
What's her name?
I always say Bae. But Jay-Z and Beyonce, one, probably because I was looking through some pictures of them today, but I feel like when we think of kind of equality in a relationship, they both bring their own excellence, like independent of each other. But then when they come together, they're stronger. And then there's this, I think, international symbol of Black love at this point. And they have been through their ups and downs as well. They're creating generational wealth for their kids, like very intentionally, very purposefully. They give back to the community through scholarships, through HBCU stuff. They're performers and creators. So yeah, when I think of Black excellence and a couple and specifically, that's definitely what comes to mind.
Yeah, I like the first thing I went to were the Obamas. Because that's like literally when you say Black excellence, that's just like what pops up to my mind, because they're just Black excellence, Webster definition. But yeah, I also like, if I can think about like maybe a couple that we would aspire to be in the essence, not necessarily exactly, I think of Jay-Z and Beyonce. I'm a little bit biased because I'm a Beyonce fan, but I think that I like that image. And yeah, to just reiterate the fact that they are both just powerful forces separately, and they bring their gifts together to create that just powerhouse. I feel like that's what we try to do with our business. And yeah, sharing that legacy with their family, with their village, with their kids. I love to see that. You know, they're pretty private. Like you don't hear, except for the scandal a couple of years ago, you don't hear too much about what they deal with out in the public, which I think is good. But yeah, I think that's who we would aspire to be.
And
that's
one small little thing on excellence is, well, 2 small little things. One, I feel like for excellence, you need to see that growth and development, right? So I feel like, and for me, you can see that in Jay-Z and Beyonce's like relationship, like how they started off kind of rocky and how they've grown into their marriage. And then the second thing, as far as excellent, you have to be someone who's selfless or at least giving back in some way. Like there's a lot of, I think, excellent people who are just excellent on their own, but I wouldn't consider them excellence in a sense.
I love it. I just want to address this because it is one of our questions that we put out there. And I have a very eclectic group of friends that I've grown up with. And
Nice way to put it.
and on more than one occasion, I've been asked, it's like, well, why do you place such an emphasis on Black love? Or, but you know, because marriage is common to everyone. And I just want to take this opportunity to say that it's like, you know what? Married into Crazy is about love, about all love, about all races, creeds, religions, all that. But we place an emphasis, and we always kind of circle back. I don't say always, but we quite often circle back to Black love, because within our community, it wasn't always shown. And there's been a particular stereotype that's been put out there. They always talk about the single mother household. They talk about, you know, the absent father. We talk about all these things. And when a kid gets into trouble, the first thing people say, I don't say the first, more, I'm talking with a broad stroke, but a lot of times when a kid gets in trouble, whatever, it's like, oh, I bet you come from a broken home or what have you. There's a picture that's been painted that Black love doesn't exist, that it's a unicorn, that it's, and part of our journey is to ensure that people know that no, it's just as real as every other form of love that's been out there. Whether you see, you know, these different backgrounds, these different cultures that show up, people need to recognize that it comes in, you know, our shade as well.
Right. It's not just the Huxtables. You know, they were a fictitious family. You know what I'm saying? On TV, it wasn't just the Jeffersons or someone like that. There are real couples that actually exist that are Black and that show excellence, because like you said, Devon, it's about growing. You know, they have their ups and downs, but it's like, how do they behave when they're down? Are they, how they stick together? Yeah. Are we working it out? Are we talking it through? Or are we out there fighting and cussing? And, you know, no, you will always see me be excellent, because I'm always going to do what is right. I am always going to put my best foot forward. Am I going to get the answers right all the time? Probably not, but I will always seek to do the right thing. So I love that question. And, you know, like Lovey said, we do get that sometimes about, well, why is it so much emphasis on Black love? It's because there was so much that was taken away, or Black love was a hidden thing. No, we have couples that stay together and that are happy and that have longevity and have great quality, you know, so it's time for us to show that. So,
and I look, I make no bones about it. When you look at me and Sinclair, for those of you that can actually see us, there's this particular tone that we have. I did make some mention of butterscotch. But a lot of that has, I mean, let's just keep it real. I mean, the reason why this tonality is in our beautiful melanin is because Black love was broken up or trampled upon at some point. And it's, oh, it's so far removed, so long ago, but the fact remains, it's not. This tone wouldn't exist if it wasn't for an all-out assault on Black love. So, but it's one of those things that I'm not bitter for it. I'm just like, hey, let's just, if we're going to put people up on a pedestal and up on a stage, let's put all marriages up on stage. But we just happen to want to make sure that there's a spotlight placed on those of us with melanin that are blessed with that melanin as well.
Yeah.
Yes.
We are. Thank you.
So you had another question?
Exactly.
What was your other question?
Oh, I was okay. So this is gonna be.
She over here shining like.
Yeah, I was like, I forgot where it was. My bad. Okay, so we all know Married into Crazy. Crazy is an acronym: compassionate, real, accountable, zealous, and yielding. Those are our 5 pillars. So which one of the crazy, which is the hardest for you to do, and which is the easiest for you to do?
Can you say it one more time for us, please?
Compassionate, real, accountable, zealous, and yielding. So out of those 5, which is hardest for you to do or be?
So I don't know how often you've been asked this, but I did mention I was an engineer, which means that, you know, on the literature side, it's not my strong suit. So could you, in your words, describe what zealous means?
Absolutely. You know, I'll break down each one. So we believe that in every relationship, in every situation, regardless we're talking about finances, intimacy, what have you, communication, there's an opportunity to be more compassionate. from an empathetic standpoint to try and figure out where the other person is coming from. That's where the compassion is. And being real, meaning that sometimes we make up stuff in our head to be either worse than what they truly are, or we play out these whole scenarios before we even have a conversation with our spouse. And we encourage couples to be real, not keep it real. No, I'm going to keep 100. No, it's not about keeping 100. It's about being real, being grounded in the reality of what situation you're facing. So real. Accountable is accountable. It's not just about being accountable to each other as a couple, but being accountable to yourself for your responsibility within your relationship. Zealous is about having that zeal, having that
enthusiasm,
enthusiastic. Not just when we're getting into an argument, we want to actually, do all the pointing and the moving and There's zeal and there's zealousness, and when we want to point out the faults of our partner, but there needs to be a zealousness for the love that we do have, that we capture on a daily basis. Be as excited for what you get on those, like you said, when you're sitting on the couch, just like you are when you're traveling the world. And then, of course, yielding. It's not about one person yielding to the other. It's about both of you yielding to the marriage, the covenant that you put in place. And sometimes that means that one person takes the lead, and sometimes the other person takes the lead. But having the ability to be able to yield in the moment. Does that help?
Want me to go first?
Of course.
It does help. Yes.
Yes. Thank you.
I got you. So I think the one that I'm good at naturally is probably the zealous. Oh, that's funny. Oh, that's funny, huh?
Continue.
But I feel like I usually bring a good amount of energy, whether we're in an argument, I'm still laughing, I'm still making jokes.
Sometimes inappropriately.
Whether we're on the couch traveling the world, I feel like I usually have a pretty good energy and bring that to the relationship. What I can definitely get better at is the compassion. I think, I'm probably like 50, 60% there, but at some point, I know that the queen knows this, like, I'm like, I can do that. How come you can't do that?
No.
Or that's not easy because of this. Why is it hard for you this way? And it's like, we're different people, we're different mindsets. She's not just gonna, launch at the drop of a dime. She needs time in kind of her own situation. So I think I can get better at being empathetic and compassionate for how she sees the situation. Yeah.
For me, I would say I probably struggle with the real part the most, because I am so much in my head. I'm playing out every situation in my head before I say it. And I think I need to, and this is something I've been working on, like whatever's on my mind, say it, because he's usually, it's really hit or miss whether he's going to react the way I want him to do or the way I think he's going to react. But I think if I don't say it, then it's all playing out in my head. And then sometimes especially in the past, I will be annoyed with him for something that I've played out in my head. And it hasn't even happened yet. I haven't even brought it up, but in my head, this is how it played out. And you didn't do what I wanted you to
in your head,
in my head. And now I'm annoyed.
The crazy method for real.
Yeah. But it's like in the reality, he's very open-minded and he's going to hear what I have to say. He does not always react how I want him to, but I think that me being in the reality of where we are is hard for me because I have to get out of my head sometimes. I think what I'm best at, I feel like I'm pretty good at being compassionate, but that's a hard one for me. I feel like the yielding, I think, has been easy for me when I wasn't trying to do my own thing, if that makes sense. So like we mentioned, the Play Black Wall Street, the Black Wall Street, the board game was kind of the first venture we did. I had no problem yielding, right? Because it was like, this is our focus right now. Mm-hmm. I think more in the recent times, as I've talked about, launching into the health coaching and trying to now do my own thing, it's been more difficult only because there are still things, we're both very busy people. So there are still things that I know that he needs help with, but it's like, I mentioned already, I'm an analytical person, which means that for me, I don't want to stereotype all analyticals, but for me, it's hard for me to multitask because I'm very good at doing one thing really deep, really detailed. So focusing on multiple things, it leaves me a little bit scatterbrained and like, I don't know where to start. Right. So I feel like having to having to kind of, as we get deeper into both business ventures, that yielding has, I think, gotten a little bit harder, where it's like, well, okay, this is your turn, but it's also my turn. And how do we balance this when we're both trying to do our own thing, but we need each other's help at the same time?
Mhm.
So I think that at least prior to maybe this past year, that was where I was strongest. But yeah, I think, what was the accountability? Was definitely not my strong suit. So I would say probably of those, either the compassion or the yielding would be the one I'm strongest at. But honestly, when you went through all of those, I was like, oh yeah, okay, we need to improve on that. Oh, we need to improve on that too. Okay, we need to improve on that. But that's, again, I'm like you, Sucks, where it's like I'm just constantly criticizing myself. So that's something I'm actively working on internally.
Y'all are funny.
You guys are hilarious.
I love it.
Seriously.
I love it.
Yeah.
Look, we're super thankful for both of you making time to hang out with us today.
Mhm.
I get the feeling we're definitely gonna stay in touch.
Let's do it.
Absolutely.
Oh,
Absolutely.
So let me ask
Yeah,
you this.
you guys inherited an uncle and an auntie. So just saying.
Yes.
Or, I don't know where Galt is specifically, but I know it's somewhere up north.
Yes, it
Yeah.
is.
Yeah. So I mean, y'all hung out in Davis, so we're right outside Sacramento. We're between Elk Grove and Lodi.
Okay.
Yeah. So everything that you have going on, you've got your two business ventures, right? Or I should say two arms of your business that are taking off. Tell our audience how they can support you. What are the best ways that they can actually reach out to you and support you?
So we already mentioned a lot about the health coaching sessions. So right now, throughout the whole month of September, we are offering free 30-minute health coaching sessions. And it's really just me trying to get my foot in the door, trying to learn about actually applying all the knowledge in my head and helping folks, heal, helping folks just take that next step in their health and take their health to the next level. So for that, if you want to sign up for your free session, you can head to our Instagram, TrueHealth Forever. And there we have a link where you can sign up for your free health coaching session.
Yes. You can also head to TrueHealthForever.com. I will put it front and center on the website, health coaching. You click on that, you can get it there as well.
Thanks, bud.
Yeah, I got you, Queen. And then if you're a gamer, if you like Black history, if you want to learn about financial literacy, if you're competitive in your household, go ahead and go to playblackwallstreet.com. Get yourself a board game. This is a very family-oriented board game. As you go around, you have the choice to either buy or use businesses, and then you can build them up, create LLCs, corporations, all that good stuff. So again, go to playblackwallstreet.com, get you a board game today.
It definitely takes the family board games. I feel like, especially during this time when people aren't going outside too much, those family board game nights, this is the great addition, because it really just enriches. It's not like just the typical fantasy game. This is real stuff. You're learning history. You're learning things that you can actually apply. You're learning what an LLC, what a corporation, what a sole proprietor means. We have, a whole booklet that shows you how to budget and things like that. So very applicable. We wanted to make it something where you are learning real applicable knowledge for the real world as you're playing the game.
Nice. I love that. I'm gonna throw in one more thing, and make sure you also go and visit TrueHealthForever.com, right? Make sure, and that's TrueHealth, the number 4 ever.com. All right. And so what we're going to do also is remind everybody that Snooks and I will be in Los Angeles October 9th. And we'll be at the 2021 Marriage Mastery Meetup. It's going to be on our website. We'll be speaking with one of 3 couples that'll be speaking. So it's going to be a lot of fun. We're looking forward to it. It's going to from 9:30 a.m. to approximately 1:30. No, we are not talking for that entire period. We are one 45-minute segment of that, but we highly encourage everyone to go to our website and hit the link and go to it. It's also available on our bio, also on IG, which is @MarriedIntoCrazy. So if you need that, please check it out. It's going to be a lot of fun. We're looking forward to it.
Yes.
So again, thank you two so much for hanging out with us.
Yes,
Pleasure.
Claire. I like that.
Appreciate y'all, Erna.
Hey, look, hey, until the next time, be blessed.
Bye bye.
Bye-bye.